Facebook. We are live on Facebook.
Hello, Facebook. How are you doing today?
Greeting face space.
You look fabulous, by the way. Absolutely fabulous.
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 All right, now I gotta go here. Pull this up real quick. Really?
Yeah.
That your answer to
That was my Jones impression.
wow.
Did you like that?
Eh.
You notice there's two very good-looking guys on the stream today.
Huh?
Yeah.
Is there just two?
Two very good-looking guys on the stream today.
So your definition is bald is good looking? Is that what you're saying?
Bald is beautiful, baby.
Is that what that is?
Bald is beautiful.
Good to know.
I'm telling you right now.
Good to know. All right, we are live.
Hello, live. We're live. Live. I'm so excited. And I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it.
What?
I got nothing.
That's all you're going to do?
Nothing. I'll tell you what.
All right. Let's see. Here we go. Now I got to go back to this and go over to here.
Hey, Chris is watching.
Chris, you're watching. Oh, I'm
Except
so
he's
happy.
posting as Beyond the Routine, so that's awesome.
Hey, Beyond the Routine, you're watching. I'm so happy.
And he likes it.
Of course he does.
That's what she said. All right.
Actually, it would be what he said.
That's what he said.
Chris, how are you doing today? Have you noticed we have a fill-in for you today? He's
Oh god,
going to
now
join
we're humming.
us.
Who bumped a microphone?
It was him.
Okay.
I was just adjusting it.
Gotcha.
It was all him.
All Steven. All right.
I'm blaming Steven for
Ready
everything.
to start recording in 3.
9,
I've got to remember where my button is. 2,
7,
1,
1.
go.
Two guys that used to be really fat. But with all my teasing, they've decided to starve themselves, so now they're just two normally fat guys. And they're also still two big nerds that love talking everything from comics to cornflakes. This is Beyond the Routine with Chris, Jones, and some guy named Dave.
That was good stuff.
That was
good
good.
music, right?
Hello.
I never get to hear this.
I
Yeah.
know, isn't that great?
It's good stuff.
Wow.
I am Jones.
Go ahead.
I'm Steven.
Yes, the fill-in for Chris, and I'm the guy named Dave.
Some guy named Dave.
That's me.
All right.
This guy. Tell you what.
We are Beyond the Routine.
Yes, we are.
We are
Yes,
indeed.
We are very beyond the routine.
So we got
Extremely.
a lot of people joining in. We got Vanessa wants the turtle. Well, you know what to do to win it, Vanessa.
Oh, the turtle.
We'll get right into it then.
So soft and plushy.
The giveaways for best comment of the episode are I'm
keeping it clean here. Keeping it.
Don't. That's not going to keep it clean if you point out the hole.
I was.
Dave was going to stick his finger in the hole. That was going to happen, and that's the title of the episode. Dave was going to stick his finger in the hole. All right. So, anyways, we have the
plushie, the
turtle
soft,
shell
you
from
wanna
Mario.
hold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? Oh, it's so soft.
Yes, it is actually very soft. It's very nice.
And then we have Short Fuse from Penguins of Madagascar.
there you go.
Pop.
Penguins of Madagascar.
That's what we got.
I don't know who Short Fuse is, but he looks like a really weird pug with a helmet.
I'm sorry, Beyond the Routine is not eligible to win the comment contest. So either figure out how to post it yourself, and even then I'm not sure that's fair. Or, yeah. Sorry. So who we got? We got B-Rad. What up, B-Rad? Thanks for joining, Julie. Always a pleasure. And I really would like to see you win this turtle, but
Julie's on?
your husband's not going to do it for you. Sorry. Especially posting as Beyond the Routine.
Julie could post, though. She could post on.
It's a turtle fleshlight. Julie went ahead and took the key from her husband that can't figure out how to post this himself on Facebook.
Way to go, Julie.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, by the way, just so you know. As are you.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and start with our first segment of every single show we do.
They can barely remember the last segment, but for some reason want to talk about last week. Don't worry, it won't take long. This is Week in Review on Beyond the Routine.
That's a good point. What was the last segment? I don't even remember.
Yeah, there was that.
Okay.
Was there one? Was there a last segment?
I don't know. Last time we did the show, right?
Yeah, maybe. So, I don't know much about. We had. Let's just go over the celebrity deaths, I guess, because there's one that you just recently pointed out that
Yes.
it really touched me kind of heavily. Arlie Emery, right?
Yeah, Arlie Emery. Yep.
His role in Full Metal Jacket.
He became
launched
the
him into
prototypical
military man.
guy, right? And he's been in several movies since then.
And I mean comedy movies. He was in Steve Zahn and Zach Black. Cannot remember the movie title for the life of me. They kidnap.
I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
About.
Yeah. Anyways, can't remember the movie, but yeah, saw him in that, and yeah, every bit as good as when he just loved it, and passed away at the age of 74. So R.I.P. Arlie Emery.
Sad.
Very good.
Lost the actor from Night Court, Harry
Anderson. Yes.
Which is sad for those of us who remember Night Court. You son of a.
He's very old.
I literally mentioned that.
old.
He goes, I don't remember that. You ever watch Night Court? No, I don't remember.
I'm not that old, I believe.
Steven, you remember it though, right?
Yep, I do.
See, Steven remembers.
Is that
it.
the one with the theme music's like da 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 da?
I think yes. It had a very catchy theme song.
Yeah. And
The Night
it had
Court
the really
theme song.
tall guard who was really funny.
Yeah. Oh, what up? What up, Jessica and Nikki? Nikki, our old boss's daughter, has joined.
That Nikki Wagner
Yes,
Montgomery?
It is. She's joined.
Holy cow! I'm so excited.
Wait, Harry Anderson was a magician?
He was a magician on Night Court.
Yeah, he was a magician.
Yeah.
He was actually the judge.
Yeah,
And he did
was
magic
good.
tricks.
And he did magic tricks all the time. In real life, he was actually a magician as well before he became an actor.
Yeah. So very, very awesome. So those are the two ones I wanted to point out, big, and then other things
Barbara
in the
Bush.
news. Yeah, Barbara Bush, former first lady.
Yep.
The other thing I wanted to point out in the news this week is the Southwest flight that's engined exploded
I heard about that.
and sucked a lady out the window.
Partially. Only partially out the window.
Well, this is so we were discussing this on the way back from dinner.
Yes, we were.
And I'm like, I've been on planes. I don't like them, but I've been on them, and those windows are very small.
They're not something you fit out of.
Right.
Do you even think you could get your head through one of the windows, honestly?
My head would clog the hole, right?
The
Like
whole
I could
thing,
just put
right?
my head like
Yeah.
this, bam, hole clogged. Everybody.
I'm invited.
Jones saves the day
volunteering
with
Jones.
his Jones saves the day with his gigantic noggin. Yeah.
That wasn't what you said on the way back,
Yeah.
though. You were going to block it with something else. What were you going to block it with?
Something you have two of?
Yeah.
That's possible.
Big enough to block the whole
And I
window,
gotta
too.
be honest, either one could do the job, folks. That's right, ladies. I mean, I love you, babe. Yeah. All right, moving on. Oh, and Nikki works in aviation emergency response these days. I hope not for Southwest. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Oh, wow. That's good stuff. Whew.
Okay, so and yes, the voice, the microphones definitely do make our voices more gruff. We're manly now with these microphones.
Are you?
I think so. Maybe.
You've got that deep bass going on.
I got
with
some
your
bassy.
voice. Yeah. See, I just sound normal, and then you got him, right?
I think
It's
the
just whatever.
term falsetto was brought up earlier.
Yeah, that was kind of a dick move as well. Thank you
well.
so much. All day, this guy. All day.
All day
Every
long.
time I'm having a conversation with anybody next to my desk, he has to lean over and chime in because he sits like 8 feet away from me.
So for
So annoying.
the new listeners that are just joining in and listening and everything, we do a giveaway on the show at the
you
end
go.
of the show for best comment.
We
look through all the comments, take a vote internally, and choose the winner. And so there's the turtle shell plush and the Funko short fuse. Yeah. From Penguins of Madagascar. So keep the comments flooding in, people. We love them. Doesn't have to be anything specific to what we're talking about. If you just think of something random that you think is going to make us laugh, go ahead and post it on there. I monitor the live stream throughout the show. So one thing I will go into in Week in Review, because I really want to show some pictures, because I found this new awesome feature that I can do on our stream, is the intern manager,
Yes.
former co-host,
Yes.
is currently in Orlando
Yes.
solo.
Yes.
anybody else think that's strange besides me? I know you said you don't think that's strange at all, but
Do you think that's strange, Steven?
I think it is a bit strange, but he seems to be having a lot of fun.
He's not just in Orlando, right? He's actually in Disney World,
right
in Orlando.
right.
Yes.
And so one of the first days there, he posts. He told me before he left. He's like, all those you were posting all those pictures from your trip of Seattle and the food and everything. He's like, I'm totally going to do that, and I'm like, I'm going to be, I'm looking forward to it. So.
Are you going to post a picture of Dave?
I'm going to post a picture of Dave the Fish.
Yes.
So Jesse posts this, that on the Jungle Cruise, there's a restaurant called the Skippers. I can't remember what the rest. I think it's something to do with Skippers. Anyways, is the restaurant at the Jungle Cruise? Okay.
Yes.
And they brought him out Dave the Fish, who is a troublesome fish.
He's a troublesome fish.
And if you look at your screens, why is that not showing? There we go. No, why is it not showing? Dave, why isn't Dave the Fish not showing? It should be right there.
I don't know the answer to that question. Maybe you have to do something to it.
Here we go.
It's there, but why is it not showing? Son of a! I just talked this whole thing up, and now it's not going to work.
Wait, you have to put it above it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Now I know why that's not working. Bam! Right there.
There
Okay.
it is.
There's Dave the Fish.
Can
Thanks for the
everybody
save.
see Dave the
Thanks
Fish?
for the save, graphics
Way to
intern
go,
Steven.
Steven.
Yes.
Show him how
So
it's
this
done.
is Dave the Fish. This is what Jesse got sat in front of him to eat. It's a whole fish, everything.
Who would order that, by the way?
Just
anyone else?
flash fried and
Eat that thing?
You remember he ate something very similar to this at that Peruvian
At that one
restaurant.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Boondocks
Yes, he did.
down,
Yes.
yeah. Just west of the old
Filipino.
office. Yeah, Filipino,
restaurant.
not Peruvian.
Yes.
Yeah, Filipino. Yeah. So this is how Dave the Fish started. And then
that troublesome Dave the Fish.
Dave the Fish
I'll tell you
ends with this. Let's see where we go.
You got to move him up too, right?
Yeah, I got to move this guy down. That's how Dave the Fish ended.
That's what Dave the Fish. This is what you do when you're a troublesome fish. This is what happens to you.
Yes. I mean, there's not a speck of meat left on that fish. It's gone. Jesse just went to town. He's like, yeah, I'm going to eat that fish. I'm gonna eat it good.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesse just
Speak of the
joined.
devil, Jesse.
Jesse,
Look what's on the screen.
look at you.
We're showing Dave the dead fish after you picked his bones clean. So obviously my wife doesn't know what time it is. She's texting me for the Netflix password.
Take a moment and text her the password. Tell her you love
You're
her.
a lot nicer than I am.
Come on.
I think we've been over this.
You
though.
know, well, she likes me more than she likes you.
Yeah, so Jesse's having a real good time. He posted some more pictures today that I didn't get a chance to download to show, but from Epcot of the Flower and what's it called? Flower and Garden
Flower and Garden Festival.
Flower and Garden Festival
Flower
there.
and Garden Festival.
So yeah.
And it's a fun festival to go to. They have these food booths around. They have all these. They actually have. They make like a living statue. Well, I should say living. They basically make statues, but they make them out of flowers and moss and everything. So you have these amazingly intricate and detailed statues they make out of plants. It's really cool to go and see them all, and it's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. And then they have things you can go. You can get like these guides, and you can go sign them off as you find them all and everything. Get pictures with them. It's a blast. It's a lot of fun.
And you did that when the last time you went.
We
with
did
me,
that
right?
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we went about this time last year.
Cool.
It was a lot of fun. So
Good times, noodle salad, all that good stuff.
Exactly right.
All right. Topiaries.
Jesse's going to be running
Topiaries, he says.
a half marathon coming this Sunday.
This week, yeah.
This Sunday, yeah.
Okay, here we go. So the full name was Jungle Navigation Company Skipper Canteen. I knew there was Skipper in there somewhere, but that's a really long
That's
name.
a really long name.
Can we just go ahead and call that Skipper
Skippers?
Canteen? Well, Skipper's probably taken.
The Skipper Canteen?
Yeah, Skipper
I like
Canteen,
that.
I think
There
is
you go.
okay.
I like that.
Jessica's impressed. Damn, eat that fish. Good on you. So, yeah. Awesome. Everybody say bye to Dave the Dead Fish.
Bye, Dave the Dead Fish.
He gone.
Oh,
Jesse and I had a whole conversation about how those troublesome days really get what's coming to them.
Yes, they do. The troublesome Daves. So
Yes, they are.
just beware, Dave. When he gets back, you could be on a plate. Like we're taking a picture of you, maybe an apple in your mouth or something
I
like
need
that.
to be less than troublesome with Jesse.
And
Is what you're
then
saying.
next picture is just this thing of bones with an apple still in the mouth type of thing. Like maybe a little bit of
Now I really want to
flesh
go
here
like
and there.
do
Yeah.
something like that. Like,
Yeah. Hey, my mom just joined. What up, Mom? Thanks for
hey,
joining.
moms,
All right.
glad you're here.
So that was kind of the week in review. I do have some stories from last week because the Seattle adventure took
Everything.
like literally.
Which, by the
everything.
way, now that you know, do you have anything else to say about the Seattle trip?
Now that Chris is not here.
I got nothing. Shut up, Dave. Quit trying to cause problems, Dave.
Me?
All right.
Do you feel like I'm causing a problem?
Yes,
Steven?
I do. You're causing a huge problem.
Steven and I are on the same page here. There's no problem.
You can go ahead and say anything you want.
Stolz, do you have anything to chime in about?
Yeah,
the Seattle
Stolz
trip?
can chime in anything he wants about the Seattle trip.
Anything you'd like to say that maybe didn't get said last week? Just asking. Go ahead. Go ahead. Do you want to hit like one of your little bumpers?
I'm gonna lead us into where are we at? What is this one from? Tech news. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about tech news.
Technology, gadgets, movies, and TV. These are just a few things that give Chris and Jones an excuse to avoid carbs and punish their temporary interns. But hey, they do get a cut of Chris's ownership of the show.
I still do this crap for free.
On the routine with Chris and Jones. Oh, and Dave, I guess.
Really? Really? Man, I don't even know
That's
that
what we
guy.
need to see
He's
more
such
of.
a
Is
jerk.
we need to see more of Dave getting hammered instead of or hounded instead of Chris and Jones fat jokes.
I don't know that we really need that. No.
No. Okay. So, anyways, first story I got. This one really tickled me because it's a long overdue thing, and I'm really hoping that contracts in general are next after this. But anything that gives these major companies less power is always a good thing in my book. FTC makes clear warranty void if removed stickers are illegal. So, what this means is, what this means is any device you have, electronics typically, right, is where you see these typically, right? Computers and other things. Manufacturers can now no longer void your warranty for taking your device to be serviced outside of one of their authorized service centers.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, long time coming.
Yeah, it is. How did that possibly happen? You would think somebody would have bought somebody off in the government. To make
You would have thought so.
Wow.
But provisions. So, the Bureau of Consumer Protection from the FTC said provisions that tie warranty coverage to the use of particular products or services harm both consumers who pay more for them as well as the small businesses who offer competing products and services. So what this does then is, and I think for the most part, cell phones have kind of gone away from it. You can take your cell phone to Bad Apple or any of these local places, right?
Yep.
And get your screen replaced, and everything's fine typically, right? Nobody's going to be the wiser. In fact, I did it on my S8. I went and took it to PC Laptops because they were the cheapest price that I found to replace the back glass, and then I went and turned my phone into Sprint, and everything was fine. So they gave me an upgrade, and no problems had.
Nice.
But no, this.
Did you tell them you had it serviced?
No, of course not.
Okay.
But there wasn't a warranty void if removed sticker on the phone anywhere either. So that's why I say that I think cell phones have kind of not really part of that. But that's the big thing that is really the hype right now is.
What's the last thing you had when you had a sticker that said warranty void if removed?
The video card that I did a teardown on, I wonder if it's now back into warranty.
Really?
Yeah, you can. What's the company that does that takes all these new devices and says how easy it is to repair them? All the devices iFixit. Yeah. So iFixit would be one of those that could basically probably has a huge list of things that have that sticker because I'm sure they cut through it a lot of times to do their breakdowns and everything.
I didn't even know that. That's cool. Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Like I said, I feel it seems to me there's still going to be some provisions out there that limit. It has to be at least a business or something. You can't just have some guy going in there trying to fix it himself, breaking it, and then still expecting to get the warranty, right? So how do you differentiate that? But overall, I think this is a step in the right direction.
Okay.
Next up, let's see here. Who we got? Oh, Mr. Johnson, you've joined. Hello, Joe. Thank you for joining. Blender, thanks for joining. Double D, always a good to see you join. Thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow at dinner.
These are the prizes,
yes,
gentlemen? Right
prizes for best comment.
Best comment.
Little
So
fuzzy
please
turtle
comment.
shell.
It's very, very plushy.
Short
inside.
fuse Funko Pop. This one's a Stolz story, but it kind of has caught my eye, so I'd like to see what it's all about. I gotta turn this setting off.
What's a
somewhere.
Stolz story?
Huh?
What is a Stolz story?
It's from Stolz. He's the one that picked it out.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought we were going to talk about Stolz and tell a story.
Man, you really want to go down this like rabbit hole, don't you, Dave? You gotta be honest. It's a rabbit hole. No. All right, so Stolz picked this out for last week, and we never got to it. $20,000 Mel drone takes flight and hits a wall.
Yes.
So, want to know why Mel drones aren't ready for prime time? Russia can tell you. The Siberian town of Ulan-Ude was expecting to beam with pride as organizer Rudrun Expediter 3M tested a postal drone in the area for the first time, but they left red-faced after the inaugural flight went spectacularly wrong. The hexacopter courier went haywire moments after takeoff, smacking into the side of a building at high speed. Oh, we're going to post a video below. We're going to definitely do this. It went from technological triumph to an embarrassing pile of scrap metal in a matter of seconds. It's a costly crash, too. The reported drone cost about $20,000. Oh, let's find the video. Where's the video?
You say it was in Russia?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I mean, there's so many hackers. They're just probably waiting to hack that thing to embarrass people.
Yeah,
right?
that's probably a big part of that too, right?
Did they say what went wrong?
No, nothing, no details on it. They're currently investigating, but that's obviously not going to have the link that I want. So where'd the link go? Yeah. Very, 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 very disappointing. Anyways, is this one it? Oh, maybe this is it. Okay, here we go. We found it, folks. I'm just going to throw it up on the good old. How am I going to do that though? I can't link to that, right? Unless I can link to this. Anyways, Dave, talk about stuff, would you?
Yeah. Here, let me.
You and Steven talk about cryptocurrency for a minute.
We can talk about tech news.
Yeah, we could talk about
talk your own tech news
or,
for a minute.
Yeah, no, seriously. Do you have a topic? Anything specific you want to talk about?
So AMD just released their second generation Ryzen CPU.
Right.
And
now, are you an AMD fan?
My latest build is actually an AMD.
Is it?
Yeah.
So the nice one right over there? That one? Really?
Yeah. It's got an 1800X.
Okay.
8 core.
Okay.
16.
Now, why'd you go with the AMD?
Because even though they don't bench as well for gaming, but they actually bench better for productivity.
Just overall performance, right?
Right.
Because they have the 8 cores, not the 6 cores.
Right.
But why don't they then do better for gaming?
Because the speed, how many gigahertz, it's harder to overclock them as well. They're not as overclock friendly. Although the second generation apparently is much more overclock friendly.
Really?
They've shrunk the size of the transistors from 14 nanometers down to 12 nanometers. And that's by itself another topic because the Moore's law. And, But as we shrink the transistors smaller and smaller, they're projecting that when we hit the 5 nanometer, which they're already in.
They're in development for.
Yeah,
right? They're in development for. Yes, exactly.
But they're running into a lot of manufacturing issues.
Right.
That literally like holes are appearing.
It's too small.
It's too small.
Right.
And so,
but that's when we're supposed to be going to what was it I was reading about the other day, where they're doing it more organically, right? It's not going to be silicone and that kind of
graphene is one of the possible
right.
solutions.
That's what they're talking about. Different materials. They're even talking about doing it with like bacteria or something weird like that. What was it? It was like a living something or other. I don't know. They talked about all sorts of different options.
Right.
With that.
But yeah, we're at that point where it's not. It might not even be, even though we can achieve 5 nanometer, it might not be economically viable to produce CPUs at that.
I figure somebody will figure it out somehow. I actually, you know what I think the next breakthrough in technology is going to be? I think it's going to be batteries.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of progress that can be made with batteries, and I know carbon is it carbon or hydrogen?
Lithium.
Lithium, yes.
Lithium. We're running out of lithium.
Yeah. So now they're looking at alternates, and they really need to find better ways to make batteries longer lasting, smaller, more capacity batteries.
So somebody just told me actually that sodium is a more it's an abundant element, and it's actually like more efficient to make batteries with, but
we got a lot of it.
Yeah, we got a lot of it.
And
I think that's one of the reasons why it's like the conspiracy theorists talk about how we went with lithium because
it was a limited resource and they could charge more for it.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if you made something out of sodium, everybody would make it, right?
Right.
Make your own battery. Although I don't think that's ever going to happen.
No. Yeah. But we might not have a choice if we don't have. Yeah. But like
if they run out.
Again, graphene is another. I mean, graphene keeps popping up.
Yep.
It's like this magic material. They're even considering making like clothing and armors and whatnot out of graphene. So.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. So I actually found an article the other day about we have a whole bunch of plastic in the oceans, landfills and everything. I found that they just made a breakthrough. They found an enzyme that will take the plastic and break it down into its constituent parts.
See that when I saw that, and it's actually on our Facebook page.
If you look down on the page we posted earlier.
But that scares me.
I think it's great.
Yeah, but we have so many things that's made of plastic.
But imagine if you can break it back down to oil. You don't ever have to drill for oil again. Go pick up all the plastic you can do, spray this stuff on it, and you've got a barrel full of oil.
Right. So for those who don't know, crude oil, even though it's a very raw and outdated form of fuel, but actually its byproducts are amazing and are used in medical fields and everywhere.
Yes. So. Oil is actually more valuable not for fuel, but for all the other things that are made from it, which is absolutely amazing. I mean, pretty much everything we own, all of this stuff, all of this, everything here is made from some oil byproduct, which is pretty amazing. So I thought that was kind of cool to read that. And I thought, they just discovered it, so obviously it's still very much in the development, figuring it out stage. But I figure you give it 5-10 years for these guys to come up with a way to produce it, for a way to get it out there, to make some sort of mechanism to, once it's broken down, to reclaim those materials. I figure this could be huge.
Or we can weaponize it and.
See, that's the problem with the world right there. When I'm talking about saving the environment, and you're talking about weaponizing it and dropping it over
blasting it in like a city, and then bring that city back to the Stone Age.
See, there's the problem with the world right there.
That's it. Just that little bit of problem.
Just that little bit of problem right there. That's it.
I don't think that's really a problem.
Aren't you done yet?
No.
How long does this take?
It's not working.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's not going to work. It's very depressing.
He's broken.
What are you trying to do?
He's trying to put the video in video so they can watch the video.
Just from the browser side. That's the main issue. But yeah.
Oh, you can just create a layer that's your desktop?
Yeah, but the windows aren't working. That's what I tried to do. And it's just black. It's just showing black for some reason. I don't know why it's not working.
Oh well, we'll post the link so you can watch
it. I'll just post this link out there right now. So check the Facebook page, all you Facebook Live listeners. And
why does Mr. Johnson want me to run a query for him?
Because you're a DBA now.
He's a DBA.
Oh, huh.
Can't you run your own query?
I guess he wants to test your metal, Dave.
Bring it on, Mr. Johnson.
Whoa.
We'll see you tomorrow. Are you coming tomorrow? I need to find out.
We want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
Hey, how come the video blinked at us?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's right there.
I'm going to pretend like I didn't ask that question.
It did. It got interrupted for a brief second.
Okay. It's all right.
All right, we're back. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop messing with it. F5. F5.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
So glad you're around to help out.
I don't think he is. I don't think
has he
true
figured out how to post someone besides Beyond the Routine?
No, he's still posting his Beyond the Routine.
I think you've moved the entire video up because I can see a portion of the Dave Fish photo at the bottom.
Awesome.
Of the stream.
That's okay. I don't mind Dave the Fish.
But can you comment? Because I sure as hell can't. All right.
What's next?
Next up, we've got... What the fuck is going on with this thing? Sorry.
Go ahead. Any day now. Don't be shy.
Are you just going to be an asshole the whole show, or do you want to leave now? Because, honestly, I don't need this shit in my life. Just going to go out there and say that right now. All right.
Wow. Just angry.
So, this is Chris Stolz is stoked for Spoderman. I don't know if that's a mistype or not, but we're going to look into this. Another Chris Stolz story. Oh, no, it's Spider-Man. And it arrives on PS4 September 7th. Anybody else play the Spider-Man franchises of any kind? I don't.
I've never played Spider-Man now.
And this is a PlayStation 4 game, which I also don't have, so we're going to skip that one.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the next one.
People who are interested, it's coming. Have a nice day.
Yes. All right, so Steven, let's we do have a crypto story here. Let's talk about this a little bit.
Hey, yeah, and then we want to ask you about crypto news.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
What do you think about the market and stuff like that coming up? But let's ask this first.
Here we go.
They're finally showing their true colors. Digging for your digital blood diamonds. Chris and Jones dig deep. Well, actually, they have a bunch of little hard drives and computer doodads doing it. But they're solving equations on a mass scale to earn a little digital dough. It's cryptocurrency on Beyond the Routine.
Computer doodads. That's the technical term.
That is technical.
That's the technical term right there. So
All right.
what's the article say?
So this is about the Chrome extension. Google bans crypto mining Chrome extensions because they refuse to play by the rules. So Google continues to try to keep its browser running smoothly in spite of others' efforts. Where is this mine? That's a huge mine. After a policy that previously permitted them, Google has decided to remove any and all Chrome extensions that mine for cryptocurrencies after finding that too many developers didn't play by the company's rules.
What were the rules?
So Google allowed Chrome extensions that perform mining with the proviso that the extensions clearly disclose that they performed mining and performed no activity but mining. About 10% of extensions that mined within the browser followed these rules, but some 90% instead mined surreptitiously. Big words. Driving up people's electricity bills and running down their batteries without any informed consent on the user's behalf. In response to this continued misbehavior, Google has decided to ban any and all crypto mining extensions, effective immediately. The Google Web Store will no longer accept any extensions that mine for cryptocurrencies, and starting in June, will remove any of the existing ones, including the ones that played by the rules.
Wow.
So
how do those work? Do you install them? You have to install them, right?
yeah, it's an extension. I mean, you've never used a Chrome extension before?
Well, yeah, I've used a Chrome
You
extension.
work in IT, right?
Oh, my Lord in heaven.
All right, just checking.
But what I'm saying is, why would somebody put that out there? Why would I go get that extension?
Well, a lot of times you don't know that you're even getting it. So let's say you go to a new website that has a service that you want to use, like LinkedIn or something, and you go through the creating a new account, a user account.
Okay.
Well, it's somewhere buried in there, in the disclaimer that
they're going to throw this plug-in,
right?
Or add-on, or whatever it is.
Right. And then there you go. You're mining for them.
So it is surreptitiously doing it, and that's not that big a word.
That was a big word.
No, it's
that's
really
like
not
8,
that.
12,
It's
14 letters.
It's like
that's a lot of words.
Five.
Super is 5 words, and you're going to say surreptitiously is 5 letters?
No, I was going to say 5. What is that?
Syllable?
Syllables. Thank you.
That's a big word.
It's not that big a word.
That's a big word.
Keep going.
You keep going. I wasn't talking. You're the one that said you're the one that brought up surreptitiously.
Surreptitiously.
Yeah,
I can
well,
say it.
so back to this browser Chrome extension mining.
The problem is the ones that were playing by the rules, letting you mine your own cryptocurrency into your own account, those are the ones that got banned. Those are the ones that are going to get banned that played by the rules. The ones that weren't said they were something else and mined in the background. That's the problem.
For someone else.
Not for you.
Not for you.
Yeah.
And so Google is going to actively ban those, remove those from even
the legit ones.
Reaching Chrome.
Gotcha.
They're gonna do deeper code reviews, and basically anything that has any kind of crypto mining things built in at all, they won't allow in the store. So.
Okay.
Nice.
I actually, for one, am really grateful that Google is doing this, because, this type of mining, behind your back, using your power, your processing, and whatnot, to me, that's just like taking advantage of you and
very unethical,
stealing from you almost.
Yeah.
Because they're profiting from it,
right?
Not you at all.
Yeah.
You're paying for it.
Yep. Using your power, your bandwidth, everything. Yeah.
Yep. And actually, so Monero, one of the popular cryptocurrencies. They did a hard fork recently to combat the ASIC miner, but it turns out that it wasn't just. So when they did the hard fork,
So what's the ASIC miner first?
ASIC miner is a miner that it's a chip. So ASIC chip is a chip specifically designed to do one thing only. And in this case, Bitmain, the biggest mining company in the world that makes miners for like Bitcoin and Litecoin and whatnot, they came out with one for Monero. And so Monero, to combat that, they did a hard fork, and the network itself resists. So, but then when that happened, 80% of the hash rate disappeared.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's the big no-no.
So they're suspecting that browser mining and that Bitmain had already been mining Monero using their own ASIC miner.
Huh.
And so 80% of that was just browser mining and ASIC mining.
Wow.
That was already happening without people knowing.
Huh.
So,
Craziness.
because if you buy a Bitmain Monero ASIC miner right now, you don't even get it till like June or July. But
oh, really?
So Bitmain, they're well known to like use the machine that they build for months before
they ship it out. Really? I love it.
My aunt just joined. Thanks, Claudia. Thanks for joining. And she's pointed out that she's kind of my secret Funko hunter for the Target in West Jordan.
Okay.
They get a lot of kind of ones that I don't know. It's not a heavily Funko shops Target, right? Like,
okay.
There's a lot there in stock that aren't in stock in other places. So it's like a block, 2 blocks from her house. I always just ping her and I'm like, hey,
can you run over and get this for me?
Get this for me right inside. Target has the Funko Affinity or Infinity Wars Thanos 10-inch. So they came out with the 10-inch Hulk. Have you seen that right at my house?
I've seen the big one.
The big one, right?
Yep.
They've come out with the Thanos, same thing. It's a Target exclusive.
Nice.
Big, huge one.
Okay.
And I'm collecting the Infinity Wars. That's why I pinged her and said, can you want to grab this for me? And she let me know that she completely forgot. Now that she sees me on the show, she remembers she was supposed to go do that. She's going to try to do it tomorrow. That's okay, Claudia. You're forgiven. It's all good. Yeah, so cryptocurrency, back to that real quick. I did find one other story I had on this one. And cryptocurrency is going to kill the environment. And here's why. A disused coal power station will reopen today solely to power crypto miners.
Nice.
Yeah. A closed-down coal plant in Australia's Hunter Valley, about a 2-hour drive north of Sydney, is reopening in order to provide inexpensive power for Bitcoin miners. A tech company called IoT Group has partnered with a local power company to revive the power plant and set up cryptocurrency mining operations called a blockchain's operation center inside it. So all in one, you got the
power
plant
generation and
everything, and then the equipment, the miners, all in one location in this big thing here. So, yeah.
I like it.
Do you like that, Dave?
I like that.
You like them reopening old coal plants just to power cryptocurrency miners?
That's really innovative. I like that.
Yeah.
Let's find something.
I don't think innovative is the word you use for a coal plant.
No, but you're taking something that isn't being used anymore and repurposing it.
It was shut down because it's a polluting.
That's not why it was shut down.
Yes, it is.
Does it say that was why it was shut down?
That's why all coal plants are shut down. They're replaced.
No, well, Utah, our main source of power is coal burning.
See?
Plant.
It's because we refuse to improve our air quality. Have you seen what the winters are like here?
Actually, I kind of have. Really
it's horrible.
Gross, yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you live here again?
It's a beautiful place when you're not dying for air. But yeah,
you
lungs hurt to breathe.
8,000
just
feet.
drive up the mountains a little bit. You'll be fine.
You're fine. It's okay.
It's okay.
Why does like 97% of Utahns end up with lung cancer at 37 years old? I don't know. Weird.
How old are you?
Anyways, yeah, right? Scary. How old are you? That's the question. You're living on borrowed time, my friend.
I've only lived here for
borrowed time.
I've only lived here for like 17 years.
Okay. Yeah.
I got a lot of time.
You got a little bit of time left.
I lived up in Seattle where we have clean energy. We have hydropower energy.
Hydropower.
Well, but so back to I think it's been happening. You need the power, but it's not for people who are literally like mining for Bitcoin or Ethereum. There's actually a lot of private coins or private blockchains that are based on proven public blockchains,
but that companies use privately.
Right.
Yeah.
And in
banks.
Fact, and they're all starting theirs. Governments are starting theirs.
Yep.
And to run these private blockchains, they need their own network of miners
And everything.
And
Power, everything.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and since blockchain is literally transforming the entire landscape, live as we know it,
And apparently also destroying the
Environment,
at the same
yes.
time.
Yeah.
It's gonna
According to John.
ruin everything. It'll be the
Yeah,
ruiner.
that will be the end of the world. Blockchain.
There's a
technology.
theme on this season's Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Called the Destroyer of Worlds. That's what cryptocurrency is. The
well,
Destroyer
but if
of
they can
Worlds.
figure out a way to recapture that heat and then use it for something else, because there were like designs of like these self-sustaining homes.
If they
that
could
use-
recapture the heat and somehow diffuse all of the polluting smoke going into the environment.
Yeah, clean burning.
Talk to him, not me.
Clean burning coal. Actually, so Utah's coal plants has been transformed and outfitted with devices that can recapture it and use
The heat?
It, the
You're
heat.
talking about the heat.
And at the same time, they the pollution is decreasing as well through that process. But they're using that to for greenhouse and whatnot.
Right.
So
Oh, to warm up greenhouses in the winter, and okay, that makes sense. All right, I don't have any more stories, but I do have something that I want to discuss. We can burn out the last 15 minutes of the show with
Awesome.
music streaming services. So
Music
you know,
streaming services.
Spotify, Pandora,
Google Play,
Amazon Music,
Amazon Music.
Google Play, Apple iTunes,
Yep.
all of the above, right? So I have used Pandora, I have used and Google Play mainly. Have been the two that I've used the most. I haven't used really any others, so I can't really speak to the others.
Okay.
I didn't like Pandora just because it seems like no matter what selections I chose that I said I liked versus what ones I said I didn't like, it didn't really update like my music listening experience to match what I liked, right? And Google Play, I've always just played my library out of Google Play. I haven't really used a lot of their recommended reading or recommended listening or anything until very recently. I was really wanting to hear the song Brandy by Looking Glass, which is from Guardians of the Galaxy, right? And
You
so
gonna play it for us? No, I'm kidding.
I can't play that.
I know.
We'll be bandinated
Forever
and ever. So I just went ahead and went to Brandy, found it, and then I clicked the option, just kind of an accident, and clicked the options icon on my phone, and it went start radio. And I was like, what does that mean on this song? So I hit start radio, and the first song it plays is Brandy, but then every song after that was a song basically very identical, not identical, but very in the same genre as Brandy, you know, and what other people that have liked Brandy also liked and everything. And I listened without skipping a song for probably a solid 2 hours of
Wow.
music listening while
Wow.
working in the yard and everything. Yeah, it was amazing. So,
Now you pay for that service, right?
yeah, I do the family plans, $14.99, $15.99, something like that. $14 or $15 a month.
and they give you 5 accounts.
Yeah, 5 accounts for unlimited music, YouTube Red. So no commercials on YouTube, plus the exclusive YouTube content. Only found on YouTube content, and there's one other thing, isn't there? Something else that's a perk for.
So do you watch
Big
any? Do you
subscription.
watch any YouTube Red content?
I don't watch I haven't watched any of the YouTube exclusives. I do enjoy not having to watch ads.
There's one thing I want to watch on YouTube Red.
Okay, which is
It's the Karate Kid.
remake.
No, it's not the remake, right?
Oh.
It's like 30 years or 40 years later.
Oh,
Have you seen that
yes,
with the
now
actual?
that the actual
the actual original actors. Where
except
he
Miyagi.
reopens. Yeah.
R.I.P..
Well, yeah, he's dead.
Doesn't it also give you like automatically 1 terabyte of?
Yeah, I think
Google
it's
Drive?
Google Drive storage too. I think is included in
Yep.
that as well.
Actually, for $15 a month, that's a heck of a deal.
Yeah, to get all those 3 things, it kicks the
a
heck out
heck of a
anything else
deal.
out there, and
Yeah.
that's why I really haven't looked into anything else. And another reason that I switched from the Alexa to the Google Home was because I wasn't going to pay,
Any more money
for the music on Amazon, essentially, right? So, yeah. So anyway, what's your experience with streaming services, music streaming services?
I'll let you go first.
Well, I don't actually use it that often, but I do have both Alexa and Google Home.
Okay.
And so whenever I want to hear something, I just tell them to play it. And since I subscribe to both services, usually gives me what I want most of the time. I mean, sometimes they'll come across a song or an album that I don't have rights to yet.
Cool.
Okay. I've done Spotify.
You've done Spotify.
I've actually had good experience with Spotify. I did that for a long time, especially when I had the Windows phone. I did Spotify. I liked that.
And you did like Spotify?
Yeah, I did. It's easy to build libraries. It's easy to build playlists. It traveled everywhere. It did okay. But I just kind of went away from it for a while because I kind of stopped listening for a while, and then I've gone back and now I use Google Music.
Yeah.
Since I went with the Pixel, because it's already there.
Already there and built in, and yeah. So
I have considered the subscription though. Now I'm thinking about it. That makes me wonder if it's worth it.
What I would do is just like I said, if you have somebody in your family, like not your immediate family, obviously, because your immediate family could pretty much fill up a subscription, but if you had somebody else, a brother or sister, that you wanted to split a subscription with, and give them a couple of accounts for that, $7 a month or whatever, right? It's an even better deal. You even save more money. So
very true.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. I like it a lot. So what I would like to know is on the streaming services and that Google Play specifically, Guardians of the Galaxy. I know for a fact if I go to the store right now, their soundtrack.
Yep.
I can get it, and it's got all of these songs on it that are not original score, right? But you go and look up the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack on Google Play Music, and the thing it responds with is these original score things.
Okay.
It's not the actual songs from
the Guardians of
the Galaxy. And so is this a but the songs from the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack are actually in the Google Play library, but is it because the soundtrack is licensed by somebody that they can't reproduce the soundtrack? They didn't get permissions? I mean, what's that all about? Does anybody know?
I do not know the answer to that question. How about you? You know, Steven?
I just did a quick search. They do have the Volume 1 and Volume 2.
Look what the songs are on it. They're on there, but they're not the same songs.
Guardian and Inferno, Brandy, The Chain, Come a Little Bit Closer, and Southern Nights.
That's the all there is, right? It's not like all of the songs.
Correct. Right.
And so that's what I find weird is it's either one of two things. They either have only some of the songs grouped under that, but if you like I said, I've used my internet subscription to obtain the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack elsewhere. And I can say that is a very awesome soundtrack that includes a bunch more songs than what Google Play says is on the soundtrack.
It might be that the Guardians of the Galaxy had the rights to play them in the movie, but doesn't have the rights to market them or brand them under their...
Google. Well, this is a Google-only thing, though, right? Because they're on the soundtrack that they distribute.
Right, but it could be, how there's different licensing for, actual CD, music on a CD or on the actual album versus streaming. Streaming has different licensing.
Oh, that's true.
It's possible they might not have streaming license for that, for their marketing. So they can only put the stuff they have rights to under that marketing label, under that brand, right?
That would make sense, I guess.
That's the only reason I can think why that would be. I mean, why else would it be there? Otherwise, they would all be under there, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's been really bizarre. And it's like I said, I started searching.
If you go to Prime, if you go to...
Well, Prime probably is different because they sell the actual... Well, no, because Google sells the... Well, I don't know. Does Google sell the full album? Can you go buy the full album from Google? Maybe that's what it is Google doesn't sell the full album, and so they don't have an option to stream the whole thing.
I don't know the answer to that. Does anyone else know the answer to that? Yeah. Anyone listen out there? Anybody know? Anybody helping us out here? Have a conversation.
I only know Google, you can buy movies. I don't know about...
I'm
pretty sure they sell music, don't they? I don't know. It's a good question. That's a really good question, Jones. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, it's very, very curious. So, I don't know.
Curiouser and curiouser.
All right. Well, I think we've I think we've ran this one into the ground, so to speak. Comments. Honestly,
Julie's way back at the beginning was pretty good.
Julie's was a good one, but I'm kind of leaning towards Nikki. Got to be honest. I work in aviation emergency response these days. Just saying, that's a pretty good one. As we're talking about planes blowing up.
We never talked about your butt cheek plugging the hole.
Well, it was my head. We talked about my head plugging
but that
the hole.
wasn't near as much fun.
My extreme noggin.
and other parts of which there are two.
There are two heads are better than one. Yeah. So, you know what I could do? I could be very mean because Vanessa wanted this too, and I could just like say it's a tie and make him like battle it out.
Oh, that's
like,
mean.
Yeah, like
that's
a tiebreaker. Yeah, something like that. Maybe I don't know. What are we gonna call this show? We said it. What did I say was going to be called? Oh, Dave stuck his finger in the hole.
Stuck his finger in the hole.
Yes, Dave stuck his finger.
Which, by the way, so everybody knows, the plushie has a little hole right here.
The plushie.
I don't want to. It's right there. I'm not going to stick my hole in it because someone's going to own this. But I'm just saying, it's right. It's right.
Dave
it's
stuck
right,
his
it's
finger
right
in the hole. It's the title
Just
of the
saying.
episode.
Might have happened. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say.
And we'll go ahead and we'll.
Well, hold on. He's got an answer.
No, sorry.
Oh, you don't have an answer? You do have an answer? I mean, what's your answer?
I do not have an answer, but
okay.
before the end of the show, I'll actually have one topic that
One thing you want to talk about?
sure.
All right, go ahead. Shoot.
So Supreme Court on Tuesday heard arguments on collecting sales tax on internet purchases for all of America.
Right.
So in 1992, there was a ruling that says that online retailers are not responsible for collecting sales tax for sales for customers who are not within their
interstate. Yeah.
But several states have since been demanding that certain online retailers do collect them, and they're threatening them with lawsuits and whatnot. So actually, there's a lawsuit that's being heard in the Supreme Court. And we're still waiting to hear back from them, but I think their concern is very legit. Okay, because for large retailers, it's not a huge burden for them to collect sales tax, but for small retailers that have just their own store, that for them to figure out and collect the right tax rate from every state. Every territory, every city, because even within a state, there are different
sales tax rates, right?
It's actually a burden on small businesses because then they need to upgrade their system and whatnot to be able to do all that.
Yep.
And who's going to pay for that?
Right.
So.
Wow. Make the states pay for it. They want it.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I say. If the state wants it, they have to provide the software that allows them to do that. For free.
But honestly, I mean, I don't disagree with the motive here and everything. But what is a small business using? Like, what is the worst possible software that a small business could use for their finances? Right, the inventory, invoice, whatever you want to call it. I set up a free software called Express Invoices from NCH Software. Little plug. For my uncle's business, and it's got an option to import tax files, right? And you can go out on the internet and download an entire state's tax file that's compatible with this software to import, and then it's just available as a drop-down. You just literally select it, and that's doing it manually. If you're on e-commerce,
it does it automatically.
It's definitely got to be something you can program into the e-commerce very simply, right? So it's a valid point, and yes, these global companies, but what little company is really doing this on a global scale that they have to worry about that kind of thing, right?
Well, so it's one thing to collect or to file. So it's one thing to collect the right amount, and then it's another thing to file the right amount to each state and each agency, and then it's another thing to be able to pay what you have collected to all of these. And every state, there's not an automated system that just is compatible with every single state.
Or you could say, here's all the
Sales
money's
tax.
collected. Here's how it breaks out with everything. Here, submit it once, and then it distributes.
And there's such system does not exist.
So that sounds like they have to have that before we can move forward with this type
Right.
of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, today, like in the state,
Isn't this just the option in TurboTax where you say, have you collected money from another state? And you say yes.
Yeah.
And
But then you have to break down by what state and what area and all that kind of stuff. And then
Yeah,
no,
because-
it's not an area. It's a state on that level, on the
yeah.
actual.
Well, yeah, but
the
so
return level, it's just state only.
you need to create an account at every state, and then input that. If I've not seen that part of it to know whether TurboTax or not TurboTax, QuickBooks would be able to allow you to input all 50 states account information and then be able to automatically, because like with QuickBooks you can do, when your taxes are due, you can you do monthly deposits and whatnot.
Yeah.
You just click a few buttons and then it automatically, once you have set up the withdrawals from your bank account, link your bank accounts and all that,
it just does it all for you.
right.
Yeah.
But for one, then you need to have a compatible level of QuickBook subscription or any other software of
Right, and then
Peachtree,
come
QuickBooks,
tax
whatever you're
time
using,
when it's time to file, it does cost more to add a state, essentially, right? Unless you're doing this the manual paper way, and nobody does that.
Nobody
anymore,
does
right?
that. Yeah.
So,
well, but the nice thing about that is, you're right. You have to pay extra for all the states you're depositing to, and you have to get all that. But then you can import the QuickBooks stuff
into
right
it,
into TurboTax,
right.
and it just does
it
all
for you, but it's an additional cost to file different states, so that could be a burden on them
Maybe
as
what they
well,
need
but-
to do is reduce the cost of that burden somehow.
Or the other option is it's I don't know. I don't know how this is going to work, but the internet is a state, right? The internet itself, online purchases are its own state.
The
What that
51st
means,
state?
right? What that means, I don't know, but that's how they could treat this, right? Is it's not necessarily a state; it's its own.
Just have a flat tax
It's its
on
own
it?
tax, yeah, flat tax entity, right?
5%?
Yeah,
And then it just automatically distributes for wherever you live?
possibly something like that.
I don't know.
But that takes all 50 states to agree on the same thing.
And,
And
you
the
know,
last
us
time
50
that
states,
happened, it never happened.
we get along great with all those other 50 states.
Well, like I said, it's either that or we just reverse it and they don't get any money, right? We go back to the way it was.
It'll be really interesting to see what the ruling is on this.
Yeah.
Because
Be
they
very
haven't
curious.
ruled yet, right?
Right, they have not ruled.
Do they have a time frame when they're going to rule? When they think they'll rule by?
The Supreme Court.
Yeah, it's
can
whenever they
take-
come
yeah.
around with it, right? Yeah. So
It's going to, and the reason that it's really becoming the way it is now is because brick and mortar stores have a shelf life, right?
Yep.
They've got a limited shelf life at this point.
retail at this point is a very, very limited business.
Yeah.
Brick and mortar, as you say.
Retail apocalypse.
Yeah,
Although-
and there's some that will never go away.
I'm never going to buy shoes online
Yeah.
before I try them on.
Clothing in general, I think, is a pretty safe bet. My wife has a few select clothing stores that she'll buy from online because she's shopped there for years
Right.
and knows
And
what
she knows
likes,
her
right?
size and all that. Yeah.
But just going to Amazon and buying clothes, no.
No.
Everything she's bought, I think, has been returned because it just doesn't fit.
just doesn't
right.
fit
yeah,
like- yeah.
It doesn't fit like she
Yeah.
thought it would. Whatever. So it's something that clothing, I think, is safe. Groceries, it's safe. They're going online, but the brick and mortar store will always be there to run and get a gallon of milk from because you're shopping online at that store anyway. That store's getting all the money.
Right.
It's going to that store, right? And so, yeah, I think it's going to become it won't ever go that internet sales tax goes away, but they definitely need to make it simpler, right? It can't be this each state gets its own cut. You have to do this special dance, trick and yeah. Anyways, I'm
Eloquently
bumbling tonight.
stated.
Yeah,
Eloquently
I'm
stated.
bumbling tonight, but that's what needs to happen. Is there just needs to be an agreed upon internet tax that's whatever you want to call it, right?
Possibly.
Country mandated by country.
And then you have to figure out how to distribute it. There needs to be like it distributed at one place where they distribute it out.
Well, it's still the purchases, right? It's still the purchases at that point, but it's the state level. But it's that state gets the same as Utah gets the same as Washington. It gets
As
the
California?
same as the California. It gets the same as
Percentage, but not
whatever.
not the overall.
Right. It's just whatever purchases were
Right.
made, right?
From Utah?
Yeah, from Utah, it's 5%.
Now that's the question.
If $70,000
so we reside in Utah.
were purchases from Utah,
So
they
we
get
reside in
5% of
Utah,
that.
and we're purchasing stuff from, say, Amazon, but then we also purchase from some other small company, in California, right? Where does the sales tax go? Or where does the tax go?
Because
Does it
every
go to
state,
California?
actually, so you brought up an interesting point. Okay, California's sales tax law actually requires that the California-located retailers collect the sales tax at the rate where the retailer is located, not where the customer is located.
Right.
So, but where, like Utah, for example, it is requiring that you collect at wherever your customer is located, not where you're located.
Well, and even still, Amazon is not charging sales tax on all items because some items don't have a state that they reside in, right? They're a cloud item. Sure, they are in a warehouse somewhere, but that's not where they are available for sale at. You can't go to this warehouse. So say the item I'm ordering from Amazon is an Amazon-only item, and it's in their warehouse in California is where I'm going to get it from. I couldn't drive to California and buy that in that location, so there is no California sales tax or other sales tax on that item because it's not a state-specific item, right?
But
so that's what it goes to.
Google, what is that Google service? The Google Marketplace thing?
Google Express.
Google Express.
Yeah.
So with Google Express, it's a competing service to Amazon, but a lot of retailers basically have presence. They're Fry's Electronics.
Yeah, they've just partnered with the big retailers.
But because you're buying through Google Express website, they're collecting the sales tax on behalf. And here's the funny thing is, so I recently, actually not too long ago, a couple months ago, bought a hard drive from Fry's, but through Google Express, and Google collected sales tax of 9%.
Utah sales tax?
California sales
California sales tax.
Now, but the thing is, later on found out I could have gone directly to Fry's Electronics website, bought the identical thing, and not having to, and Fry's don't collect sales tax. Because I'm out of state.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. See, and I can see where the frustration comes in, especially with lawmakers and everything, as the brick and mortars go away. That tax money's going away. How do you replace that? The stuff's still getting purchased.
So is that Fry's just eating the cost then?
Well, no. Fry's is saying that we're obeying the law of we're not being required to collect that. So Fry's is not being required because Fry's does not exist in Utah, and it's where I am, and so they're depending on me to claim.
And I thought the law was gonna, maybe it just hasn't passed yet, but I thought the law was going to be more specific to if the place you're buying from has a retail presence in a state that you could go buy that item from that location.
That's what it currently states. But Fry's doesn't have a location in Utah.
No, but I'm talking if it's in California. You're in Utah, but you could drive to California and pick up this item. Yep. You have to pay that sales tax. Essentially, you would have to pay they would have to charge you sales tax. Because they are a retail location.
No. So currently they're not required to.
Not currently, but that's one of the.
If you resided in California.
Well, basically, what they're trying to do is, regardless of where the retailer is located, anywhere they ship to, they need to be collecting sales tax on everything online.
That's the lawsuit.
That's lawsuit.
Yeah.
And then send it to the state where they're owed to.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Okay.
Very good.
Well, we'll see what happens.
All right, that takes us over. Thanks, everybody, for sticking with us and tuning in. And we will catch you. I'm gonna throw this one to Nikki. Whether we see her in the near future or not, I don't know. But if we organize lunch with her father one time, maybe we'll hand it off to him to pass it on.
There.
Yeah.
All right.
So
or hit us up, Nikki, and we'll see if we can get this stuff to you. Congratulations.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We will see you in 1 week.
Woohoo.
Thanks for listening to Beyond the Routine, brought to you by our friends at Bastion Technologies and Protocol 42.
Love you guys.
Peace.
Good night.
Woohoo! That was fun. Was this your first show?
No.
You've
there
been
was
on
a
before,
show
right?
when there were a whole bunch of us.
Oh, right. Big
Marty
group of us, right?
and-
Yeah, I remember that. Okay. But it's the first show with just us, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's fun.
It's fun.
Welcome.
It's different.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's good. I like it.
It's different than sitting over there and
it is, right? And just listening and chiming in. Yeah.
And I don't get to hear these awesome tracks that you guys have.
The bumpers are fun,
the
aren't
bumpers,
they? Yeah, they're a blast. I really like it.
They're very professionally done.
Yeah, we appreciate, even though he makes fun of us a lot in them.
What are you looking at me for?
You know, we didn't get some chiming in towards the end there. Did everybody like?
Yeah, we kind of dropped off. Apparently, cryptocurrency didn't interest anybody.
Oh, really? So what? Everybody stopped listening, or they just?
I think it just tuned out. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, crypto is one of those. I think
you have to be interested. Or
some
you're not
some
interested.
people are really depressed about it right now. Some people are actually really excited about it right now.
I think now's a great time to get into it. Personally.
Yeah, but
what do you think's happening with the market? You think it's going to come back?
I think it's more than going to come back.
Yeah.
But it's going to take time because these developers and interest holders, they need to get down their ass and